Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today is Primitive Rabbit. Gosh, started back in Easter, our little bunny. So I believe today is just finishing him off. I think this will be the last episode unless I have some brilliant idea that sends me off on another tangent. But I need to do a few things. We've got to get some fabric for his ear. So I grabbed my bucket of scraps as I come across to the table. There's a flower here that needs a stem. I've got a little bit of lace that needs to be stitched down there. So yeah, it's just mosey on around the piece to see what needs to be done. So I might stitch this first, but everything else is looking pretty good. I've been thinking a little bit about the background. And I guess in my mind, before looking at the piece, I had visions of shadow stitching around everything. So I might have a little look at that, as in everything, I mean the flowers, just to add that little bit extra detail. So I want to explore that. Do I want a camphor stitch out here in all this zone? I don't know. I need to have a think about that. So, apologise for all the noise in the background. I've got workmen here working on Gaz's shed, and they're using metal to build a frame around the walls. Then they can apply some gyprock to it. So the man cave is coming along. My goodness. This man cave is becoming bigger than Ben-Hur. I'm so glad I've got my studio sorted because Gaz has been very patient and has done everything around the house, and we've done the yard and we've done my studio, and we're completely settled, and now it's his turn to build his man cave. Well, it's the shed, and part of the shed is being sectioned off to hold a lawnmower and my garden tools. Another section of the shed is to be a garage for visitors' cars, or, you know, just have that extra space for a car. And one day maybe we might get a caravan again, or a small motorhome. I don't know. At the moment, don't have any plans for that, but the space is there. And we have quite a few family that visit with boats, so we can at least put their boat out of the weather. So it's that type of space. And then what's left of the shed is Gaz's man cave. Somewhere for his beloved pinball machines to go. Somewhere for him and his mates to sit and play computer games and watch maybe a movie. So that's what's happening next. So the first step is to plaster the walls of said shed. And then he needs to think about colours in his little man cave section. He's thinking real dark tones, so we're hoping to head to the hardware and have a look at some paint colours today. See what he comes up with. That little piece of lace that I've just stitched there, see there's a hole in the centre of it? I think that is needing something. Maybe I could put some threads in it like I did that one. Some turkey work. I don't think I have that thread with me, so that will be homework. I think it needs something. We might do the stem. I know a few of you have commented you've got a flower hanging in midair. Yeah, I knew he was there. We were working to him. Let's grab this and just bring in a stem for him. And I think I can get that under there like that. Yeah, so that'll look like it's meant to be. Pop a pin in there. So I'm just going to couch that on. And this little guy can come down wherever it naturally wants to sit. Looks like I used a orangey toned or brown toned thread back into the pocket with you. So I wonder if I've got that handy. When you don't pick up a project for a little bit, you tend to forget what you all use, don't you? And because I've got a heap of projects at the moment that are similar tones, must be in here. There goes a cotton flying across the table. One could have been a little more prepared. It's not in there either. Where are you? Maybe I need to pause the video and find that thread. Might have a glance. Might pause the video, find the thread that I used here. It's like a sandy coloured cotton. It's got to be here somewhere. And I might also find a thread for that, and then it's done. So back in a moment, guys. Okay, I'm back. So that thread, I believe, is in here. This is part of my grandmother's collection of threads. No, it's not in here. That she had as a dressmaker. So you're getting a glimpse of bridesmaids in the 80s. Bridesmaids in the 80s. The other one's all blues and turquoises and things like that. Quite an interesting snapshot. Okay, so just need to find myself a needle, and I'm going to couch. Did I turn the camera back on? Yeah, I did. Such an instinct now. I usually don't jigger it up. As I sit, I flick the button to get the camera rolling. Oh my goodness. Come on. Not sure what day you're actually watching this video, because it's one of those videos that I just let sit there in the schedule and pop it in wherever, depending on what's currently going on my craft desk. So it's been a great little project just to have on the side. All right, let's stitch this in. Oh, don't fall out. That was just way too handy. Get a bit extra length. Tuck it up there. I'm on the hunt for a little trolley to sit beside me, tucked under my desk, that can hold basic supplies that I use, like my ruler, my tape measure, some pens. They're sitting at the moment in like tidy tray, stationery tray things to the side of me. And it just is never tidy. It bugs me to no end. The tidy tray containers can't hold my big heavy scissors, these, so they're always floating. I can't hold the ruler because that's then floating on the bench. And I really, once I start creating and I have all my bits of fabric out and lace and you know how it goes, I just don't have that room. My old craft table was nearly a two-seater at the end where I sit. This one is the picnic table that we had outside on the patio, a smaller version. I didn't bring my big table up from Brisbane. It's just too big, and I didn't want to clutter up my space when it's 99% of the time just me. So the picnic table has come in, and it's extendable if I ever need it. But for every day, it's just a four-seater, but could go to a six-seater, probably even more if you wanted to squish a couple kids in amongst a heap of people sitting. But yeah, so I don't have the width across the table. So I'm on the hunt for a trolley that can be pulled out when filming, pushed back in. I can pull it out and it not knock my knees, because remembering I'm sitting in the space as well. So I need something that's probably only about 20 centimetres wide, so it's narrow, on wheels. But what's tricking me up is the height of my table. The trolley only can be about 67 centimetres tall, which eliminates multiple trolleys, so I'm on the hunt. I know I'll find something. Something will come along. I've only spent about half an hour on the task, so. And then I thought, I'm going to film my primitive rabbit. I feel like stitching, sick of looking for trolleys, so that's how I ended up here. Takes a bit to get your room or space sorted, but once you get it, it's great. You can just settle in and do what you need to do. There we go. That little guy's in, so we don't have a floating flower anymore. Now back up to this. It's not exactly the same thread. Is that a problem? That's the one I found. Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, it is. It's just got looser because it's been fluffed up in that yo-yo. Now we need a good sized eye for my needle. This blunt thing, it's like a tapestry needle. It's so hard to get it back into. Ow, ow, seriously. It's one of Reginald's mates. There we go, that's what we need. A crewel. So let's do a little bit, reg. It wasn't reg, but a needle straight into me. Just trying to put another needle into the needle cushion. Unbelievable. What's going on here? Why is this so hard to get a needle through? Oh, look at that. Got a bleeder, guys. It's dangerous work, isn't it? I can hear another vehicle coming in with the workmen. They're putting in a dividing wall in one section of the shed at the moment, and that's going to be Gaz's like workspace if he wants to pull a pinball machine apart and clean it, or often he's replacing rubbers and wiring might burn out, so he gets his little soldering iron out and tinkers away on them. He's been picking up some real old ones and renovating them and on selling them, and just a small little profit, but those little profits add up, and then when a new machine comes out, he's got a few coins to spend on something that's more current. So it's keeping him busy. It's very technical. Even just playing the game's very technical. I don't, yeah, it's not for me. All the noise and the clanging actually gives me a headache. It gets me all worked up. I sort of get quite hyped. I don't need that. I need calm. I'm hypey enough. I'm sure you guys know that already. So it's best that Corrine has calm activities to do for her mental health. The last thing she needs is noise, sound and beating a machine and clanging, and I always feel so aggravated when I finish a game on them, and they're very complicated. I think you've really got to commit to playing them to understand the levels, and I just don't, no, not for me. I was not a kid of the 80s playing them either. I was a young one. I wasn't hanging out in milk bars in a city playing pinball. I was a little farm kid on the farm. I didn't even know they existed. Now, where am I? Got my turkey work in, stems in, and bunny Let's have a look at your ear. We need a little piece of fabric. I grabbed this Lucello. I thought that might be nice. I don't know if fabric's the way to go. I'm thinking he needs lace in his ear. Let me just grab the bucket of lace. And see what we can find. I just sort of feel like, what's this scrappy little bit? That maybe, does he need an ear that big? Probably not. I wonder if I could get something out of this. Just a little. Just trimming up all the bits. Looks like a little plant. It's a bit out there. Got a second little piece here, and I think it's swishing the opposite way. Oh no, it's doing the same. Just wondering if I could put, no, just doesn't look right, does it? Maybe it can be worked in somewhere else. No, a bit lost. No, keep looking. What else have we got? We sort of need, upend it. I need a bigger bag. Ooh, what about that? Oh, my finger. I wonder, let's explore this piece. Don't know, it might be too big. And I don't really want to cut its edge off because that's holding the lace together. Oops. Okay, so it's not held together there. Okay, well that gives me, I guess, a little bit more freedom. Can it be stretched? It can. Can it be shaped? It can. Let's make it longer and narrower and see if that could be in the center of his ear. I think it's the colour that's bugging me. Oh, that's not bad, actually. The other thing is we could put it in there. I think we want it there. I think what's throwing me is I have a pleat here. So therefore I should really be pleating it to make it look correct. Maybe I don't need anything in there. You sort of want to follow the line that you've created. If I was to put a pleat in as I stitched it, it would probably make more sense. I don't know, guys. I don't think I need anything. If I did, maybe I embroider it. Where's my red thread? Then I could get in under there, come up over the pleat. Maybe I embroider it with a mustard, a gold. You see, I sort of like that. Gosh, I've changed my direction about 4 times here. Where is my pins? I think I need that chenille needle back. There it is. You know what I'm tempted to do is embroider some little flower detail there. I don't know, is that a crazy idea? Where's my pen? What little flower would I embroider? Would that look odd? Just ignore that line is gone. And we bring up maybe some little French knots. Just keep it delicate. Would it be weird to have flowers in his ear? This is a bit of a random piece. I don't know. Something different. Might just stitch a little bit. And I'm thinking actually of keeping it just low. Don't go all the way up. Maybe that's the trick. So we would do a little back stitch. We might put cream little flowers on this little yellow stick. Don't know. Can you hear them cutting the metal? Okay, so let's just do a little back stitch. Keep the stitches small because it's quite a petite space. Stay away from the crease, the little pleat in his ear, so it's just a little detail on the side of him. Gee, I didn't think I'd be doing this when I sat down. Okay, so another little branch here. And another little branch, just bring it back from the crease. So we've got room to put some little knots there. Just a little stitch. I'll leave it at just 3 little twigs coming off the main. Let's now get the cream thread. I can hear the bin being collected. Got this lemon colour. And the thread's fine too. I'd say that was an 8. Oh no, they're the same. Gosh, they feel different thicknesses. So I'm doing a little lemon flower to go with the lemon twig. You could spend ages stitching into pieces like this, layers upon layers of stitches. Who knows, maybe in the future I'll pick it up again and do something else. There we go. That matches those flowers there beautifully. So now I'm just doing a little cluster. So it looks like baby's breath. K3n lace. It's often the flower they put in bridal bouquets, isn't it? That soft little filler for floristry. Now Gaz has decided to pack the dishwasher, so that's going to be more clanging and banging. Ah dear. It's all good. Trials and tribulations of filming. You're in a household of others. I was chatting to Susanna the other day, and if you follow Susanna at Vintage Blend Studios, her eldest son has come back home briefly while he's sorting his next accommodation out. So she's lost a studio because he's in her studio, because there's a bed in there, and she's back on the kitchen table filming, stitching, trying to manage the space, and she shuts the door to her kitchen so that the lads know that she's, you know, filming a video. And I had to giggle. I thought, oh, I wish I could do that. Well, I do have doors, but they're just not as soundproof as probably a timber door. Some of them are shutters and things like that. So, but doesn't matter. It's what we do, isn't it? None of us have professional studios we go to. We're all just making do with our spaces, whether it be a table in the corner or a bench against a wall, a kitchen table. It's what happens. It's where we're all crafting. What was I watching the other day? Is it Laurie Holt? She's a American quilt designer and has fabrics and notions and all sorts, and she did a studio tour. Go and check it out. She did a studio tour, and it looks like she may have built or bought a house, and the whole upstairs, which is a couple bedrooms and a landing at the top of the stairs, is her space for her business. And oh gosh, it was beautiful. She could go from room to room to do different tasks, and in amongst it was a guest bedroom as well. It was so well thought out and so neat and tidy. I was having neat and tidy envy. Just a little twig. So remember, all the embroidery on this was a little bit random, like little sprigs of things. So I think this works. Well, I thought I was doing fabric. I've got a heap of fabric here on the desk that's made a hang of a mess. And I've ended up crocheting some little flowers on his ear. I think that's the last stitch I will get out of that piece of cotton. Now I might pause the video again, and I'm going to grab my iron. Gosh, that'd be good to have on a trolley next to me. Just plug it in as needed. Fine tuning. I'm going to plug in the iron. I'm going to iron his ear to get rid of all of those lines so I can clearly see what else I can do. Okay, pausing again. I'm back. The iron is heated. There we go. Let's see what else we do. I think we could be a little braver with our... And I think I might bring it down here. Maybe another little sprig there. A sprig there. Just feel like we could do a little bit more. So let's grab this yellow cotton again. Okay. Which makes me think I could do more embroidery on him. just to jazzy him up a little. Like the colours. The colours are working well for me. So we have another little sprig there. Slither that down to there and carry that. So it feels like it's anchored now. It sort of felt like it was floating a little bit, that piece of embroidery or the twig. A little bit there. It's like we're all about embellishing Bunny, aren't we? So let's just iron that a little. Yeah, I like that. I don't think we'll go near that pleat. If we do, I'd have to shorten up the pleat to get past it. Maybe we sketch in and just see what it looks like. We can always iron it out. So we come up around the pleat. No, too much. Too much. Let's have a look at where else maybe we could do some stitching on him to make that feel like it's part of something. Do we have a play with his other ear? Yeah, let's do that. A few little blossoms. Oh, I like that. And maybe just a twig there. And then I feel like we could do something else, should we? Does that look weird? He's got like weeds growing all over him. Don't mind that. Just little details added to him. We're getting out of hand now. We can always iron them out. If they look odd, can't hurt to have a little sketch. Remember, he's whimsical. This is part of his fur. He's instead of having a stripy rabbit, we've got little flowers coming off of him. I think we need something across his leg. Where would it come from? A heel? Bottom? No. We could probably do something around his neck. So have a little curvy flower detail. Well, looks like I've just created myself a heap of homework. Just a little sprig coming off there. Oh, he's getting embellished now, isn't he? Maybe something off his heel. Why not, I say? Why not? There are no rules with our little guy. He's a pretty little bunny, isn't he? Here we're going again, off of his heel. You're probably thinking it's too much, Corrine. It's never too much. Yeah, I like that. That there seems like if I did something, it'd interfere with those flowers. I think I might leave it at that. No, I'm not. I'm going to do some across his back. I'm going to be brave, a little more grand. And have a spray coming off his back. He's been, I know what it is, he's been running through the pastures and all this stuff has caught in his fur. There you go, the justification of it all. She's going again. She's going again. Just a little, hey Fudgy. Just a few little, oh yes, I love it. I love it. All right, I'll use the rest of this cotton and then I will toddle off, stitch bunny in the 2 thread colours, and then I'll put a photo at the end of the video to show him finished. Oh, the other thing I want to do is, what will shadow stitching look like? Let me just use the rest of this thread. Hello, Fudgy. Okay, Fudgy might come up and visit. Let's just get the chair out from the table just in case he'd like to jump up and say hello. Comes unthreaded, just wastes time. My little sneaky knot that I use with fine cotton doesn't really work with these pearl cottons because it just creates too much of a big knot, and then you're dragging it through the fabric and the needle isn't really, oh goodness sakes, the needle isn't really making a big enough hole. And some of these cottons just fray. Others go through beautifully. Probably my needle's a bit small, but it will do the trick. Okay, so a little twig there, got a little bit of thread left. Got a twig over there. There's not much thread left now. Can I get another little stitch up here or two, and then that'll do it. Yep. Okay, finish it off, and then it'd be the little knots to finish the flower. So what I might do is find a neutral coloured thread, and let's just see what that would look like. I need a little container. How quickly the desk gets messy, seriously. All right, oh, lace everywhere. Let me just get all this in here, guys. I need a bigger container. It's just so handy to grab that, because there's always something in there. And it's all the little bits, see? Little bits. Little bits and slightly bigger bits. Okay. A bit of Law and Order again. Now, I need a neutral coloured thread. Don't mind that. My needle. Alright, so what I'm thinking, that's a big needle. That's just putting pressure on my fingers. And I'm doing a heap of stitching. One does not want that. Don't know if this will work because it's sort of up around the bouquet of flowers and it doesn't appear anywhere else other than shadow stitching around that guy, but I don't know if I want to go to that detail. So it would mean stitching around the outer edge of all these guys, like so. What do you think? I guess we can do a little bit. It's very subtle, which I'm okay with. And then I come up here. It's not a bad little detail. I guess the more you look at the piece, the more you're going to see. It's one of those types of panels. So all the flowers would get a little running stitch around their perimeter. You could do it on them, but I like the fullness of each petal. I like how that's raised, so to pin it down with stitching, and where I hit the lace I won't stitch, so therefore my next stitch would be over here. Like so. Make something different other than just doing a camphor stitch or a running stitch, depending on terminologies. So then I could scoot through here, come up. Oh, there's a stem there, so that's a little bit hidden. I could whiz down this side here. No, I don't mind it, guys. It's adding another little detail. I think I will do this. It's quick. Just a little running stitch here. Could be brave and use another colour, but I don't think I want to interfere with the flowers any more than what they are. It's all about little details. Do I keep going under the bird? Yeah, what the hang? I'm going to do it. It's no use doing it where lace meets flowers because you just can't see it. Yeah, I like that. Goodness sakes, come on. Don't know how long this video is, but anyway. I need to iron it a little bit more. I can still see some pen marks from where we were planning out the piece. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, I think I do need a little bit of stitching down there. I know it's sort of out of the way by that stem, but I think I need it. Looks a bit odd that I haven't stitched down there. There we go. So same thing, I'll finish this shadow stitching. I don't even know if that's what it's called, but in my head I feel like I'm creating a shadow line around my piece, so I'm going to call it that. I don't think I've ever heard anyone refer to it in a way, but it seems to make sense in my little head. There we go. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to do that, guys. So my homework will be to finish the little bunny's little bits and pieces, and then I'll go around. See, I could even do this flower. Let's do that while I'm, yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. Just gives it another little, oh, I'm using the wrong thread. That's all right. I can use that for all those little blossoms. It's this thread. That yellow probably would have worked. Very similar. Let's have a look at this guy. Then I might toddle off. and it'll give me something to stitch. Then I'll lay this piece out and let it just sit for a day or so and just glance at it to see if there's anything else I want to do to it. But I'm thinking Primitive Rabbit is done. For those of you who have stitched along, thank you. Loved seeing your work in our Facebook group, Stitched Vintage Treasures. And I can now have a think about another project. It's my little random stitch when there's nothing else major going on project. So probably not as regular as some of you wanted to see. But surprise, Bunny's back. Yeah, I like that. Look, it's a tiny detail, and many would say, why would you bother? But I think it's going to work out really well. We'll do this little flower together and then I'll toddle off. I think I just said that, didn't I? Probably. As for my edging, because my cloth is edged and has a selvage top and bottom, I will just trim back the wadding so that it's not seen. Actually, I don't mind it being seen either. It's yeah, no, I'm not going to trim it back. Gonna leave it rustic. Sliding through beautifully the needle. No pressure on my fingers and joints, which is a good thing. Just had a coffee and I can feel a little shake from the caffeine. Oh my goodness. My one little joy of a morning. A nice cappuccino to start the day. It's the only one I have for the day. Unless I go to town, I might get a barista made one. But then I'm usually buzzing and then don't sleep and come on. I'm going to run out of cotton before I get this little guy stitched. Probably should have been bolder and used a red or something, but don't know. I think it might have looked too much. I'd rather go subtle on a piece that's as neutral as this. Just making our way down into that little, and I think that is going to pull us up. Just need a little bit more cotton and I can finish the other side of that flower. I'll keep going. You guys aren't going anywhere. These are all sitting and stitching. Won't take me long. Oops, my little knot didn't work. Okay, I'll start down this point where we were. Dun, dun, dun. Gaz is actually looking at me if to say, we're supposed to be heading into town. Are you done yet? And I just look straight back down at my work, which has just told him that, nope, she's not. She's ignoring me. She has to finish this stitching. Can't be going until it's done. Well, what an adventure we've been on with Primitive Rabbit. A few little different things that I've never done before on this one, which is great. It's nice to have no rules and you just meander around a piece of fabric or cloth, whatever you wish to call it. You can hear the men's radio. There we go. Done. Let's just grab the red cotton and just for giggles see what it would have looked like with the red thread shadow stitching. Oh, look at that. It would have been bold. No, like it looks really cool, but it would have been just, I think my eyes would have been drawn to it. These guys are meant to be in the background. These guys are the feature. So that if you're doing the piece and you want to, you know, have a play, yeah, go for it. I think another thing I could stitch, I said I was going, but I'm not, is this. I feel like I could do something down birdie here. Maybe a feather stitch. See, oh gosh, you could just keep going with this, guys. Maybe there'll be more videos in the future, I don't know. Maybe a little feather stitch down here would just add a little detail. I guess that's the stage we're at now, is you're just stitching into it to add more little details. This will turn into a bird's nest before I know it. No, it won't. We're not doing a bird's nest. He's just sitting in the branch. He's not nesting. He's waiting for a pretty lady to come along, a pretty bird to come along, find his mate. That's what he's doing. He's contemplating life. Can I get one more stitch? Just. And it's become unthreaded. You know, I just had another idea. I could do feather stitches in there too. Oh my goodness. No. Just do what you've done so far. Okay. Yeah, love it. It's just a little detail. Just adds a pop of something. I'll probably come through here as well. Yeah, I'll keep stitching. See, if that had like a feather stitch coming down it. See, you could just do so much, like seriously. And into there. Oh my goodness. You could have pistol stitches radiating out from the button as well. Oh my goodness, where does it stop? All right, guys, I'm going to toddle off. I'll put some photos at the end of this video of, you know, what I've got up to. And I'm going to call it finished. Gee, she sounds confident, doesn't she? Anyway, All right, I'm going to say goodbye and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.